Thanks for joining us again. If you've been here before, if you're new, welcome. We're faking sanity. Yeah,
we're faking sanity.
We're faking sanity.
That
in
pretty
all
much sums it up.
respects of yeah. We have Ravelry group.
Sorry, I was doing a little dance.
We have a Ravelry group. Feel free to join us there. A lot of our content is discussed further there, and we put up our show notes there and that sort of thing.
Really? Well, that's cool.
Yes.
I'm so bad at Ravelry.
I do the show notes.
I fail at Ravelry.
So yeah, you've just seen the screen with how to contact us if you're looking to get in touch with us. All our info is just before this. So let's get into the podcast. So I'll start with saying happy birthday to Cindy.
Thanks. I'm old.
She's old.
No, I'm 40.
She's
today.
officially old.
I'm officially old. It's all right. She's older than me, so I can always make jokes. I was really bad. We were at my mom's place today, and I was like, so want to give me my birthday present today so that I have something, or now, so I have something to talk about on the podcast?
She's so bad.
I knew what it was.
Yeah.
I picked it out, because apparently that's how gifts go in my family. No, yeah, actually, well, very much so. But we got this when at the
Northern Craft Extravaganza,
whatever it was called,
where Hippy
a few months ago. So yes, so this is from Hippy Strings, which is our localish yarn store. The next localish to us,
after us,
next most local after us. I don't know. Anyway, in Sexsmith, which is a great store, and they've been getting some cool new stuff in, and I want to go back.
Yeah.
Okay. Winter driving is not good around here.
Yeah.
But I got this, and it's Midknit Cravings.
It's gorgeous.
It's the sweet sock. So 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and the color's double.
So, okay, so I love, it's clearly coffee and cream, but is the red the mug?
I don't know.
Double.
Toil and trouble. Color. I don't know. I have no clue.
See, I don't know
what the reference is. But if it is coffee, that's really cool, because then, it matches our walls.
It does.
So, yeah. I don't know. It's very nice.
It's gorgeous. It's so soft. Such a nice yarn. So we both got one of these for our birthdays.
Did you get the sock too?
No, I got the worsted.
Yeah, I got the worsted.
I was going to do a hat.
Too. Yeah. I saw this and couldn't resist it. Yeah, it's really nice. It's got some of that cream and stuff. Anyway, I'm so happy.
It's very pretty. It's so you.
Yeah. So my mom laughed at me, but that's all right. Now she'll be watching again, and she can laugh at me again.
Hi, Terry.
She's like, it's not even wrapped. I'm like, I don't wrap presents. I don't care if you wrap presents for me. I'm terrible.
It was in a bag.
I'll walk in and go, here's your present, and hand somebody something. So, yeah. So happy birthday to me. Do you have any acquisitions? Not to show, but you have a loom.
Oh, I do.
She got her loom.
So I didn't bring it because the box is
big.
massive, but my loom arrived. So yes. I have Erica's her name, and she's like a very small loom in terms of loom, but very big tool for me.
Bigger than my loom, which doesn't have a name.
She'll take up the whole side. Well, and it's not like I named her. It's called a Louette Erica. All their names are like David and Jane and Erica.
We do tend to name a lot of things. Yes. All of our appliances at the store.
That's one of our staff.
Yeah.
And our pumpkins.
Yes.
We had a 75-pound pumpkin once, so she figured it needed a name because it weighed as much as some of our staff. So
yeah, not us.
Yeah. Anyway.
So loom.
Yeah, I got a loom. She's still in the box because I ordered some Howard's Feet and Wax to put on it to do the finish.
Okay, every time you say that, I hear like Howard's Feet and Wax.
It's not Feet and Wax.
I'm like, you wax your feet, and then you go skating.
Feed the wood, and then wax the wood.
Oh, okay.
But it's delayed. It's supposed to be here like next week sometime. Yeah. So next weekend I will
have to order everything online because
I'll take a day to finish it all, and then I will put it together probably the following week. So I won't be weaving for a little while, but I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
So that's it for acquisitions for me. Okay. I didn't bring anything.
What are we gonna talk? She didn't write out the like list of the order we have to do it in. So I'm like, oh, what are we doing next?
Do you want to do FOs?
FFO.
Cindy has an FO.
I can't talk. Okay, I have an FO.
This is asking for trouble.
It's so pretty.
It's so gorgeous.
Okay. If you can see the color. It's kind of showing up. It's kind of a greeny gray.
Kind of a warm gray with green tones.
So,
like if you could picture slate or gunmetal or pewter, but with more green in any of them.
yeah, okay. I was like, dude.
But it's that kind
Imagine that and then go, oh, it's not that color at all.
But it's that kind of gray, but with a green tone.
It is a shawl. I have knit this shawl before. It's the Karine by Susanna Icy. And it's lovely. I did it a bit longer. So I was actually pretty much done this ages ago, but then I decided to rip back and change it.
Yeah, so
because basically you cast on at the bottom and you do the cables. And then you do a short row thing to give it the kind of curve.
Yeah.
But I wanted more length. So I had done the short rows and then did more length, and then it looked kind of strange. So I ripped back and did more length and then did the short rows.
So what you saw the last time she showed this, she ripped back like 6 inches.
Yeah.
So
that's fine. I like knitting, so it's all good.
But the shape is much nicer now.
Well, yeah, the shape is
and
more supposed to be like more curvy, but it's all right. This is great. So it's gonna be, you know, shawl for when I'm cold, or, you know,
just wear it like a cowl or something under your
jacket. I think I haven't blocked it yet, so I think it will grow quite a bit because this
silk
yarn,
it should.
yeah, this yarn. Oh, the yarn is Handmaiden Smitten.
Because we love Fleece Artists and Handmaiden.
Yeah, and it's in the Stardust color, which actually looked a lot different on the screen, but when I got it, I loved it, so it was fine. It looked a little more bluey.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's 50% silk, 50%, something like that. 50 silk, 50 merino. So
I think so.
I think it will grow quite a bit. We'll see.
It's so gorgeous. And it's so you.
Yeah,
like,
I love it.
Totally
I'm all about cables and
the color and the style. Like, it's kind of classic and
and it's squishy. Oh, I could put a big button on it and then make it just a cowl. Anyway, yeah, that's my FO.
Ooh. With some of our new buttons, we're
getting some cool new buttons.
We're getting in some cool new handmade buttons. We just got some samples.
You have an FO.
I have an FO too. So these are dangling.
She hasn't done them,
but they are woven in. And it's blocked. So this is the last time you'll see this. And Cindy's going to laugh at this, but I didn't use blocking wires to block this or pin it down. So 2018 is my year of let loose and go with the flow. So she's laughing. So about here is where my gauge changed. So you can see the repeat gets a little longer. And it was accentuated by, I took this skein because it was a bit of a second. There was a bubble in the skeining, so it dyed up with a little bit more white spot in the middle there, but that's also where my gauge changed, so it got way
it's pretty cool,
different, but I love
long.
it. Yeah, it's about,
can't believe you got
it's
that
about 6 feet long and 6 inches wide. So, and I love to wear my scarves like this, and then the extra just hangs back or down on my neck so that there's no spot that's uncovered and getting cold. And I can also do this, which is how I typically wear scarves in the winter because
it's cold.
It's cold up here. But I love it. It's so squishy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it blocked out really nicely, and it shows the stitches, like the little wave pattern, really nicely, even in the variegated and speckled sections. So I love it. That will be one I wear a lot.
So the pattern is?
The pattern is the Dragon Scale Scarf, and it is by Andrea Jergrau. And the yarn was our Faking Sanity Fixation in the Light Between Oceans colorway. Yeah. So it was our first, we got a skein each to sample the yarn, and we loved it.
So that takes us into whips.
Sure.
I'm still working on my socks. So this is how it knits up in kind of in this.
A tighter gauge and different stitch count.
Jeez, sorry, my needles are all over the place.
I'm so excited for this sock.
I'm knitting her socks.
Happy birthday to you!
Yeah, and I finished turning the heel. It's the Sweet Tomato heel by Kat Bordy, which is it was really interesting. It doesn't fit me properly, but it fits her perfectly. Yeah. So I just have the foot and the toe to go. But yeah. Oh, and this is the fixation in the Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
I love it.
Yeah.
I was debating between that colorway and the one I took, and once I saw her knitting it, I was like, oh, I should have taken that one. So, yeah.
And then I was like, well, I'll knit you socks.
Yeah, because she's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You got a whip?
I do got a whip. I actually have two.
Well, I have more too.
So I'll start with this one. You haven't seen this one yet because I cast it on New Year's Eve. It's just a basic bandana cowl in the Ella Ray Cozy Alpaca Chunky that I showed off last week, and it is so amazingly soft. And it's just a basic like triangle, and it goes down to a point, and it's knit in the round on 16-inch, so I can't really open it up to show you right now, but it's just very, very plain. It's got a garter stitch edge, and the yarn has a tiny bit of fuzz to it, but not too much, so you're not like having fuzz to pull out of your mouth when you hold it over your mouth. So it's perfect. And the yarn had 120 yards per skein. And the pattern called for 110 to 130. And I got gauged, so I figured I was fine. But I weighed the amount of yarn I had left and the amount of yarn it takes for one row. And I have like 13 rows left and enough yarn left for 3. So I think I'm going to take, rather than knitting myself another talus hat, which was the one I showed off last week with the leftover yarn, I think I'm going to stripe it with this. I'm going to rip back maybe a half an inch and do
just stripe
like
the top.
one thin row of this and then a bit more purple and then a double row of this.
Striping it with this. See, I thought it was just going to be a chunk of color at the top.
No, I think I want to work it in like one thin stripe, then maybe a slightly thicker stripe, and then a slightly thicker stripe.
Because I think striped with this would actually look really good.
So I was thinking of this. This is my Sugar Bush Yarns Rapture, which is a 50% Lima, 50% Merino yarn from Hippy Strings, also in Sexsmith. It's the one I knit my talus hat out of. It's kind of a slightly heathered gray. It's beautiful and it's lovely to work with. I loved it. And I want to make sure that whatever I pair with this is just as soft. And this is pretty close. It's a little bit thinner, but it's still a chunky hat.
Or, oh wow,
but,
that just...
Oh, white blows out.
Yeah, well it's kind of creamy. It's ecru.
Is there any way to... Oh,
Yeah,
there. That's more accurate. So I could also stripe it with this white, which is also an Ella Ray that Cindy got.
No. It's Estelle Chunky.
Oh, Estelle Chunky. Which Cindy got to make her Hudson's Bay Uber Canadian hats. So she offered I could take some of this because she had extra. So I'm debating. You will see this again next week. It'll be done by then because I only have like...
Yeah, sure it will.
Hey.
She has to make a decision. It's not going to happen.
I could hit you even if it's your birthday.
Oh, okay.
I won't because I'm good. I'm an angel.
Haha.
She's the devil, I'm the angel.
Oh yeah, we didn't actually say our names.
Oh yeah, I'm Age.
I'm Sid. Sorry, I'm Cindy. I'm whatever you want to call me.
Yeah, so you'll see this again. It'll be done when you do, but it might be purple and white or it might be purple and gray. I don't have anything else that really works with it that's as soft. So if you have an opinion as to which would look better striped with it, the white or the gray, cream.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Just say hot.
Yeah, let me know. Mention your preference in the comments. So,
well, I'll talk about my ecru. Okay, so I had knit this one ages ago, and I decided Thursday night at midnight I made my first ever pom-pom for a hat that I then gave. It was a Christmas present, so I was a little behind.
The one that we had shown off that was kind of the wines and plums, that was for a staff gift. We gave her the option of if she wanted a pom-pom, and she said yes, so that's why.
So anyway, so I put a pom-pom on it and she loved it. So I was like, okay, I'll make another pom-pom. So I tried to make a pom-pom with the cream and all 4 colors, except that I really screwed up and I ended up with a pom-pom with like a bunch of color here and a bunch of color here, and I kind of was hoping for speckles. So I pulled out the other colors. So anyway, so I made pom-pom for this hat. But then someone at Knit Night was like, oh, my boyfriend would love that hat. Can you knit another? Because I said I was gonna make more. And she's like, can you knit one a little bit longer by next Wednesday for his birthday? And I'm like, yeah, sure I can. So I've got
Hudson's Bay hat number 2.
Probably a good half of it done there. It's really, really quick knitting up because it is a chunky yarn. So it's Estelle Chunky. They don't have names, but Joe's Yarn Garden, which is where I got it, named it. Or they just don't put their names on the skeins. But anyway, so ecru, navy, goldenrod, cardinal, and I didn't bring the green with me. And I've forgotten the color name. Leapfrog. Leapfrog is great.
Oh, that's a good name.
Yeah. And the pattern I'm doing is the Hudson's Bay inspired beanie. I had originally bought it as a kit that had enough for the one hat, but then I went back. I really enjoyed it. Went back and bought a whole bunch more so I could make hats and scarves and mitts, all in Hudson's Bay colors. Which is
lots of Hudson's Bay gifts.
Yeah, it's a very Canadian thing. Yeah, they're loads of fun. So yeah, and but you wanted to end with that one, so I'll do my other whip first. This is a weird whip because I have this much done and I'm gonna rip it out. So
it is technically a whip.
I am making leg warmers for a customer of ours out of Cascade Echo, which is one of my favorite yarns. Cascade Echo Plus, because it's dyed. But I'm not using a pattern, and so I just looked at a few different leg warmer patterns to guess how many stitches around, and I did this much and then realized, no, we're gonna want wider. So yeah, I'm just doing like thigh-high leg warmers, so. Which says a lot about Dawson Creek's weather.
It does.
Yeah, so that's my other whip. I don't have a pattern for it or anything. But it's such mindless knitting.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that kind of, so I have no problem doing it. Most people, when they go, oh, will you knit me something? I'm like, no, unless you're family. But yeah, no, a couple customers have asked me for things, and I'm fine with them as long as they're things I'd like to knit.
Yeah. Yeah. So. And that's kind of why I said no. I was just like, I don't want to knit thigh-high leg warmers because that'll take me all year. I'm a slow knitter.
I'm a faster knitter. So you've got a project.
I do. You haven't seen this one in a few weeks. So it's my returning shawl by Danielle Morgan. It's the one that's my hand spun. So it's got Haunui wool from Heavenly Wools, and I've spun all 3 colors, and I finished last week. I showed my skein of Shetland and my skein of Haunui in the dark brown, and one was a little too thin and one was a little too thick for what I was aiming for to match these. So I just decided to cast on with grab one of them and start, and thought if it's too thin or too thick I can just swap out. But I really love this one so far.
It looks good.
And I like how the colors are playing together. It's kind of a hard one to show because I need to change cables now. But it's kind of a modern take on a hap shawl. The garter stitch or fingering stitch center. And
fingering stitch? Stockinette.
Garter stitch or stockinette stitch center.
Fingering stitch.
And then like a feather and fan. Only you. And then a feather and fan border. And so now it'll keep alternating stripes in the wavy feather and fan, but I really like it.
I like it. Yeah. It looks good.
So it'll be a shawl eventually. It's all scrunched up right now, but it's already getting pretty long. See if I can flatten it on my shoulder just to show. No, don't even bother. Nope, it just doesn't. Yeah. But I love it. And,
it looks good.
And I enjoyed the spinning, and yeah, it'll be fabulous when it's done. So.
Yeah, which takes you into spinning.
Yes, so I also have a whip in my spinning. Last year during the Tour de Fleece, one of the prizes I won was somebody sent 3 mini braids of 3 different blends with Corriedale, and I hadn't spun any at that point. So this one is just a superwash Corriedale, and I love how easy it was to draft, and the colors are so nice. So this is plied. So it's got blues and a little bit of browns and darker blues in it. Color's blowing out because these end caps are really bright.
End caps?
Yes, the end caps on my bobbins.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but it's lovely, and it was fun to spin. I found it a little, like, I don't find it harsh in the yarn, but I found it a little harsh on my hand when I was drafting. My thumb hurt, almost like it was, you know, when you get like friction cuts and friction burns almost when you spin too much, and I felt like that was happening with this. But I love it. And next I'm going to spin the second braid in the pack was this one, and I absolutely love these colors. And this one's a sock blend. It's Corriedale with nylon.
It's nice.
And it feels a bit less I don't know, wiry. Like the nylon, I don't know. But I like it, and I want to try spinning for socks at some point, so this will be my test spin for that. I'll try it and see if I can get a nice fingering weight.
You got a nice fingering weight for that.
No, this one's...
This shawl. The shawl. Sorry, I was pointing at the shawl.
Yeah. A different prep, though. I usually do better with those looser preps, so we'll see if I can get a nice fingering weight out of that. And the bobbins are cute. They're really awesome. I got 2 of these last year for Christmas. With some of my Christmas money, I bought myself some Acreworks bobbins, and I love how light they are, and you can pull off the ends and they pack flat, which is great if you travel with your spinning wheel. And they come in these fun designs and fun colors, and you can mix and match them, and I love that. The one thing I didn't notice, though, was, like, I hadn't seen anybody mention, was because they're made out of 3D printed plastic. And my wheel has a nylon brake band that runs across the bobbin ridge here. And the nylon brake band, I don't know if you can see, oh, definitely not on the plastic, on the bright green. I don't know if you can see maybe on the blue, there's a little line of like white in here. And that's where the nylon brake band started kind of cutting into it. And after I asked, lots of people said you might find better luck with a cotton brake band. So if I want to protect my investment, because they were rather pricey with the shipping and exchange, I have to swap out my brake band when I use these. So I think I might just tie both brake bands onto one, like tie them onto the wheel and then just only pull the nylon one on when I use my wooden bobbins and the cotton one on when I use this one. The way my wheel's set up, I should be able to do that. So we'll see. When I'm putting together the loom in the next couple of weeks, I'll probably do a bunch of maintenance and try that. So, but yeah, I love them. They're very cool, and they're great if you're doing a gradient. You can see the gradient through the end, and
yeah,
that's awesome for photos. Not so much when you're doing 1 ounce, because it's not enough to show through, but these are half the size of my normal bobbins, so they're a lot lighter, so the take up on the wheel's a lot nicer. So yeah,
it's like she's speaking Greek to me.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm just like,
a few people have asked about the spinning stuff.
Oh yeah,
so
totally.
A little more detail.
I'm just saying to me.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my last whip, and that's my spinning.
Cool. We don't have a whole lot this week, and nothing much new.
Okay. Well, actually, I brought these because they were in the bag. Probably the thing I use the most of my Acreworks, because I don't use those bobbins that often, are the Tensi Tamers, and they were like, I think $3 each, and they came in a set of 4, or maybe it was $4 each in a set of 4. And they're just these little pieces of rubber. These are just on a chain so that I don't lose them. But they have a little hole in each end. And you put one on the top of your, on your Lazy Kate above your bobbin, and then wrap this above it as well. And the more you press down on it, because it's rubber, it kind of grips, the more you press down on it, the more tension you get. So when you're spinning, when you pull on your yarn, on your singles, the bobbin spins really freely. But you can add tension on this even if you don't have an expensive tensioned Lazy Kate. You can just add tension with this and it slows it down. So you can ply a lot more easily and evenly, especially if you're doing a chain ply like I was with that blue Corriedale. And I use these all the time, like they're always with my Kate. So as much as the bobbins cost more, I think these are what I love the most out of that order. And they're just such a little innocuous little thing, but they make such a huge difference. So yeah, Tensi Tamers by Acreworks on acreworks.com. Super cheap. The shipping on them's not much, and I would highly recommend them no matter what Kate you have, as long as it's got a standard 1/4 inch shaft for your bobbins. They're great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so my Whip Lucky Dip. So my Whip Lucky Dip, quick explanation. I have a whole bunch of things that never get finished. I just kind of put them away as soon as I'm done the knitting of. And so my goal has been to pull out one each podcast and have it done by the next podcast, which I didn't do this time, guys. So this was the one I pulled out last time. It's the Gaptastic Cowl in Malabrigo Rios, and I didn't do a thing to it.
I'm going to give you a pass this week with 2 commission knits and 1 on a very tight deadline.
Yeah. Sure, thanks.
I'll give her a pass. It's her birthday. We can let it slide this time.
I will have it done by next time. But we can pull out another one.
You're going to do another one for next week?
Yeah, totally. I'll have 2 ready. Well, and I've got to block my shawl.
Yeah.
And that hat.
All the things.
Guess I'll be blocking
all the things. What do we got here?
Okay.
It's a small bag.
I have no idea what it is.
It's always fun to see these because I'm like, oh, I remember this one.
Oh,
I don't remember this one.
Speaking of Malabrigo Rios.
Oh, I do remember this
So,
one.
I had made 2 hats. I had made a green hat and a purple hat, and I had enough left over to make this. Still my cute little stripy hat. I probably shouldn't try it on because I'm really staticky, so my hair is going to look hilarious. And I need a haircut, as I say every time. And I didn't write down all the details because there really isn't much to say.
Yeah, you just kind of winged the pattern.
Oh, yeah. Standard beanie pattern. 2 row stripes in ivy and... Do we have any more of this?
No, I think it's purpuras.
Ah, that would make sense. Yes. And they look so good together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really funky.
I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really standard hat with the decreases from the Turn a Square hat by Jared Flood, because I really like that. Yeah, and so all I've got to do on this is, once again,
weave in
ends and block. Oh, you know what? Ends are actually even woven in. All I have to do is cut them.
Well, that'll be a quick one. That's good.
Cut them.
On
wow.
a week you have 2. That'll be
and
good.
that's where that's the inside. That's where I
hold it up a bit closer to show.
Twisted them between each.
So you carry up the yarn.
Yeah, I carry up. Anytime I'm doing stripes of like 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 rows. This one, I have, the first one I carried the cream up between each one. This time I'm cutting it because I just got a kind of funky seam here. And I'm hoping it'll look better once I block it. But yeah, you can kind of see the seam there.
Yeah, where it pulls it a little.
Yeah. But yeah, so I just, I twist up the yarn going up the inside.
So it looks nice inside out.
Yeah, actually, I've done this before. Actually, one row stripes look really cool inside out.
Like those Earl Grey mittens. I forget who the designer is, but
yeah.
you did.
I didn't do them. I was making up some mittens, and then I turned it inside out and went, okay. This looks really good.
And they looked like the Earl Grey mittens.
Exactly. That's right. But yeah, so I really like this. This will most likely be for sale because I do have a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Though these are good colors.
They are.
And I sold the 2, the green and the purple.
Yeah. Although you've been wearing slouchy hats more, and that one's definitely not a slouchy.
Yes, that's true. This is more of a beanie. Yeah, I like the slouchy. I don't know why, but
definitely not a beanie.
Yeah,
definitely not a slouch
okay.
hat.
Yep, there. I just decided it'll be for sale at the store. Hats go really well at the store.
Yeah. Well, and there's no pattern, so there's no issue with copyright or anything. Like that's what you can sell.
Yeah. So yeah, I will get both of those done. Both my Rios things. I have a lot of things made out of Rios because we've had Rios for a while. Yeah. we sell it here at the store,
and we love Malabrigos. We like to use it. So,
yeah. So that's my with Lucky Dip.
Yeah. Did we cover everything?
I think that's all of the fiber related info. We just have.
That's really fast. Maybe we shouldn't have done a separate video for the Fiber Arts tag.
And we wanted to say thanks for. Oh, what was her name?
Crafty Garden. I didn't see the name. I've just subscribed to her channel so I can go watch some of her podcasts.
She's the one that came up with the fiber tag,
which
we did our little special podcast.
Yeah, and she's got 20 or so episodes so far, and she's a spinner and
so we'll have to go watch that.
Yeah.
But
so thanks for putting that out there. It was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
And we hope you enjoyed it.
It took longer than we thought.
Yeah.
Talking about ourselves, weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so culture consumed?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. I actually read some books.
So this is the end of the knitting content. If you're here just for the knitting content and don't love the culture consumed section,
when we
will
always
see you
go
next
off
time.
tangent.
Yeah. And and if the lighting bothers you, because now it's 4 o'clock, so it's dark outside, so the lighting is getting weird.
Sun is down.
We'll see you in 2 weeks, and hope you have a happy new year and are enjoying winter or the dead of summer if you're in the southern hemisphere.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see you next time. And if you're keen to listen to us babble more, stick around.
Yeah.
So, what were you reading this week?
Well, I realized, okay, so I do a challenge for myself every year as to how many books I read. And last year was the lowest it's been in years.
Yeah.
And it was only 56 books.
You're such a slacker.
I know. So some people I've said that to, and they've been like, that's an only? And I'm like, it is for me.
Yeah.
And a lot of, like, some of my favorite customers here, I was chatting with them about it, and they were like, oh, wow, that's not much. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, and it's not for you.
It's not
You've
for
read
me.
a lot more than that.
That's just over a book a week, which is not great for me. But I spent a lot of time last year, well, I wasn't listening to audiobooks like I had been the years before, because usually I'll knit and listen to audiobooks, or I'll listen to audiobooks while I'm shopping or whatever. And last year I got obsessed with podcasts. So yeah, like, you know, I'd find a podcast and then listen to every, like, audio podcasts, not video, because I listen to them while I'm doing all the things I hate doing, like grocery shopping.
Yeah.
But
you found some great ones,
I
too.
did found some excellent podcasts.
Like West Wing Weekly is
West Wing
awesome,
Weekly.
and Dear Hank and John.
Dear Hank and John. And, well, Galactic Suburbia is a podcast I've been listening to before that, but it is fabulous. If you're interested in sci-fi fantasy from a feminist perspective, or even if you're just interested in sci-fi fantasy, Galactic Suburbia is fabulous. And one of the books I read in the last couple of weeks is by one of the people who does Galactic Suburbia podcast. So
And they're out of
New
Australia.
Australia. Yeah. So it's 3 women from all around Australia. So Perth, Melbourne, and Hobart,
Hobarth, I think.
Tasmania. And they're great. But so Tansy Rayner Roberts is one of them, and she's one of my favorite authors. She's fabulous. I found her because of Galactic Suburbia. I have no idea how I found Galactic Suburbia, though. Ran across it somewhere.
An internet rabbit hole,
yeah.
surely.
But so one of the books I read this week was called Girl Reporter, and so it's kind of her love story, her love of Lois Lane and, you know, the girl reporters in superhero comics and movies and all that.
Like that.
It's a fabulous little novella, and it actually is in a universe that she's written short stories in before. And it is fabulous. So, Tansy
I might
Rayner
have to
Roberts.
read some of them.
You really-
lot of the ones that you've talked about have sounded interesting.
Also, she has her own podcast called Sheep May Fly, or Sheep Might Fly. Ugh, I should have looked that up. I could. It's fine. I'll look it up. It'll be in the show notes.
It will.
But it is fabulous. It is her reading. So she alternates. She reads her own fiction. So she'll do one that has been out and published somewhere else, and then she'll do one that she is writing as she's reading it. Excuse me. And she does like a chapter every week.
That's cool.
It is so much fun. Some of them are fabulous. So some of the books I read last year were actually some of her podcast stories. But yeah, and she's got a couple ongoing universes that she goes back and writes new stories in, and they're all fabulous. So I highly recommend that.
The only book I've been reading has been Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, which I'm making progress on and really enjoying. But I've also got Masquerade by Laura Lamb that I got for Christmas, and it keeps calling to me. I haven't put it away yet because I keep thinking if it makes it into my room, I'm not going to finish the John Green. I'm going to start reading that one. So I could, but I'm enjoying the other one. So
she's not a read many books at the same time, whereas I am.
No, I have often 5 or 6 on the go, but it's like my works in progress. Like, I'll work on it, and then if I put it aside, I won't come back to it for 6 months or a year.
Yeah.
And then I come back to it and love it and finish it. But
yeah, but
they're
I
long-term.
literally have multiple books on the go.
Yeah.
At once.
I did when I was on the bus all the time in Calgary, but not here. I spend 2 minutes in the car to get to work, so, or I walk for 15, so.
Yeah. So another one of the books I finished reading was It's All Relative by A.J. Jacobs.
I want to read that one. I love A.J.
You'll be getting
Jacobs.
it. So Dano and I bought it together. We were down in Grand Prairie, so we bought it because we both wanted to read it. But we were like, oh, a hardcover book? We're like, even at 30% off, we were like, that's expensive. We work in a used bookstore.
And we're cheap. I'm rubbing off on her.
So, well, no, I've been like this with books for ages because before we started this, I worked in new books, but I got a staff discount.
That's true.
So, yeah. And I could borrow books from work as well. So, it's been a long time since I've, like, bought a new full-price book. No, that's not true. But, yeah, it was really fun. So, A.J. Jacobs has done a few different books. Our favorite is The Year of Living Biblically.
It's fabulous, and don't let the title scare you if you're not a religious person. It's really good, and it's laugh-out-loud funny, and it's insightful and hysterical. Did I mention?
Yeah. So I picked up It's All Relative, which is about him going down the family tree rabbit hole. Basically, he gets his DNA thingy, 23andMe, and then ends up trying to hold a global family reunion of people he's very vaguely related to. It's really hard to explain, but it was really cute. I enjoyed it, not as much as his other ones, but it was fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally want to read that one.
Yeah.
Um,
you have something else?
Mostly I've been watching podcasts and TV shows. So, TV, I've been watching Zoo. Again, I finished the new season that they just put out, which is based on the James Patterson book Zoo. And I love it. It's ridiculous, but I love it. That's kind of what I enjoy in books.
And movies and TV shows.
And movies and TV shows for when I'm spinning and knitting. And I've been watching Touch. I just started another couple of episodes. And it's Kiefer Sutherland is the dad of a severely autistic boy, and he's never spoken a word in his life, and he's like 11 years old. And the dad has, lost his job and lost his wife. And over the years, the stress of caring for his son and not being able to figure out how to help him has meant that he's changed jobs and like gotten less and less well-paying jobs because he needed ones that were more flexible so that he could take care of his son. Yeah. And now finally, the beginning of the show kind of gives you that as background, and you find the son is like writing numbers all over the place, and they figure out he's trying to communicate through these numbers, and he sees, it's kind of weird, but he sees patterns. So he might just write 3287, for example, and it's a number that leads his dad to this person on the street that is screaming 3287, or a house that's number 3287 on such and such a street, or whatever. And then with the connections he makes there, he finds out something else. And so it's like a treasure hunt to figure out what this number means to his kid. Oh. And he uses it to figure out, so they're finally communicating, and it's neat. It's a fun show. Yeah. It's not one I mainline. I often watch, a season of a show at a time. This one I watch an episode. But I'm really enjoying it. So, yeah. So that's been my TV watching this week.
And then the other book I read this week, I just finished it this morning. It's called River of Teeth by Sarah Gailey. Gailey, yep. And it's a novella. I really like the novella length. It's kind of like a really short novel because you get a lot of story without a lot of, extra stuff. It's like anti-Tolkien. Which I love Tolkien, don't get me wrong, but...
It'd be like Tolkien the way you read it.
Yeah, just read all my favorite bits.
Eliminate the ant, eliminate the...
No, I love the ants. Okay, anyway, River of Teeth is actually, it was really interesting. Because, okay, so there was a plan in the US, I think, I'd say probably 100 years ago, to farm hippos.
This is the premise of the book.
This is actual history.
Okay.
There is an absolutely fabulous...
Learn something new every day.
There's an episode, or 2 episodes of Stuff You Missed in History Class, which is another podcast I listen to.
That's a good one.
About this, there was this scheme.
Farm hippos.
To farm hippos for meat. because I can't even remember it all. But anyway, so then Sarah Gailey took this premise, and it never went through. Obviously. Yeah, it never went through. But she took this premise and said, okay, what if it had, and kind of placed this like 50. It's Wild West, but with hippos and the South. It was really, really interesting, and it's a group of characters who have are planning a caper to I can't even explain it, but really interesting. If you like alternative history, you would love it. It was put out by Tor, but it's not fantasy or sci-fi, so it's alternate history, I guess. Yeah. So it's set, it's very much, it's Wild West with hippos. It's fabulous.
Weird.
Yeah.
Tor does weird
really
well.
Yes. But yeah, and I really like the novella length, but apparently there is a sequel, so now I'll have to get my hands on it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
My only other thing this week has been podcasts. I finally caught up completely on Stranded's podcast with Amy Florence, and I've made decent inroads on Skein Knits while also keeping up with the other ones that I've started watching, like Feathered... Why do I always do this? Feather Knitting Podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, I'm terrible. I'm so far behind on all my...
Feathered Stitches Podcast.
Basically...
Sorry, girls.
Basically everything on YouTube. I've watched a bit, but I now have a TV in my room, and it's got Netflix attached to it. And then last night I found it. I was going through my stuff that was in the donations box and went, oh, I have a DVD player in here. No remote, but I hooked it up. And I watched the very first episode of Stargate SG-1.
I kind of want to watch them all now.
We totally should just start from the beginning, and because I have all the DVDs.
Because we're nerds. Have we mentioned that before?
Oh my goodness, they all looked so young.
Yeah.
Especially since recently I had seen some pictures of Amanda Tapping and Richard Dean Anderson. Richard Dean Anderson. Well, I mean, he's pretty old now, but pretty old. I don't know. But they were so young. It was like 97 when it started.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, 20 years younger.
Oh, God, yeah, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I was half the age I am now.
She's 40 today.
40.
She's old, officially.
Yeah. If I'm old, then she's ancient.
No, I just bypassed old.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, to ancient. Don't mind us. We're like this all the time. Yeah. Wow, the light is getting really wonky.
It's getting worse and worse, yeah.
Because, we
usually do this earlier during the day.
It's 4:30? Time is it?
No, not even.
It is 4:37.
Oh, yeah.
And the sun has gone down.
Yeah, a while ago. It's getting quite dark. And when we go home, it's going to be even darker. We had a raven hit the power lines with the transformer right behind our apartment building, and there was a big explosion-y sound, and then the lights kind of dimmed, and then they went bright, and then they went dim, and it fried like the electronics in our stove, and half the light bulbs in our apartment are dead. And yeah, so we unplugged everything and came to podcast, but did a little running around first, so we're a little later than usual.
I lied, actually. There is 10 minutes until the sunset. I mean,
it's
on the other side of the building, and it basically goes around. The sun doesn't go up in the winter.
Yeah,
it goes around.
Yeah,
that's a really... I'm pointing to where the sun is.
Doesn't look much different.
Yeah, we're pretty north.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sun sets in 10 minutes at 4:47.
Yeah, but it's pretty dark. It's pretty cloudy and gloomy today.
Is. I want to see when sun rises. Sorry. Oh, oopsie, not Dawson City. Yeah, we're not in Dawson City.
This is the kind of weird rabbit holes you get with Cindy's brain.
I really like Google. Okay, I was reading this hilarious article.
She likes Wikipedia even more.
Oh, yeah. I was reading this excellent article, and it was talking about my generation, right? Okay, so people born in the late 70s or early 80s. And because we're too young to be Gen X, and we're too old to be millennials, and they're talking about how, we were the last generation to not grow up, or to just get into computers when we were in school kind of thing, and or the last generation to not go through high school with social media, but the first generation to have computers and all this, and they came up with the name for our generation, which is Oregon Trail Generation, and I was like, yeah! I mean, we're Canadian, so I don't know. You had never heard of Oregon Trail,
No,
but
I think it's a Western thing.
oh, no, I think it's a U.S. thing.
Oh, maybe.
But we played cross country Canada.
But I hadn't heard of that either.
She's French. Quebec. I mean, okay, there is Canada,
Yeah.
there is Quebec, and then there is rest of Canada.
It's true. It's very different. Like,
And there's like, okay, there is a lot of differences between like the Maritimes and BC. But
so many things don't land in Quebec at
they
all
don't.
because there's extra laws in Quebec. Like, you can't publish games or put up posters or advertise
Without
in
French
Quebec
on them.
without tons of extra hoops to jump through. So a lot of people just don't. They just don't release stuff in Quebec. That's
It's
like
just-
even the McDonald's like games like Monopoly say on the bottom of them not valid in Quebec.
But it's just bizarre because I'll be like, oh yeah, this kid's book, and she's like, I've never heard of it, and I'm like, it was originally written in French, and she's like, yeah, I still haven't heard of it.
But that was also partly because I lived in the boonies.
That's true. Okay.
Like, we had no bookstore, we had no library.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I grew up in Dawson Creek, so we were about 2 years behind everywhere else.
Yeah.
And
And
our
by the-
movies came 6 months to a year after they were released anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, and by the time we got a library at home, I was sick a lot as a kid, so I was reading adult books by then.
Yeah.
Like, so I skipped out on a lot of kids' books.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But she's learning all about them now because she's selling them. Yes. So what I don't know got me down this rabbit hole is I checked when sunrise was, and it was at 9:27. So the sun was up for 7 hours and 20 minutes today.
But the days are getting longer.
They are getting longer. Yay! Because I'm not good at winter. I don't mind the cold. I can live with the cold. All that stuff. I need sunlight.
Yeah.
I sit here in the morning
She looks like a lizard
when we're
sunning
having
herself.
breakfast, and I will like position myself for where the sun comes in this window.
Whereas I'm like,
Yeah, she's
this
like,
is
no
your spot."
sunlight. She's a vampire, and I'm a lizard. I will sit there, and I'll just like bask in the little spot of sunlight because
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I need sunshine.
Yeah, I
But
don't.
yeah.
I hate it.
See, if people skip the customer consumed, wow, I do not eat the customers, I promise.
I don't let her.
If people skip the culture consumed, they learn so much less about us.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you don't want to know this stuff about us.
They could learn that I made us go to Walmart before we podcasted,
'Cause
which
you-
is part of why we are podcasting later, because I realized as we were out the door already that I had toothpaste on my shirt and didn't want to podcast with toothpaste
Well, it's not like you just
all the way down my shirt.
bought a shirt because
No,
you
I
could have
needed
just gone home. You needed
I
shirts.
needed shirts anyway, so I was like, let's go there
And
first.
she's cheap. She's like, oh, I don't know, this one's more than $5. Should I buy it? I'm like, yes!
It wasn't.
It's
It was
fine.
5,
It was
5, and
ended up-
2.
it
I got
was-
3 shirts for $12.
Oh,
I'm cheap. It's
this
okay.
is what I live with.
But,
yeah.
do you have plans for upcoming knitting or upcoming TV shows or upcoming books?
Well, I think I do need to watch Stargate SG-1 and
Yeah.
Atlantis. We have to watch Atlantis.
We have to finish it. Yeah.
And knitting wise, I have to finish my 2 ones for other people.
Yeah.
And yes, I have a prep. But I can't remember what it was. I have quite a few plans.
Can I borrow your
Yes.
phone to show?
Yes.
I've had an itch lately for
Well,
2
what-
things.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. No
Okay, while she's looking up,
No
yeah,
fingerprint
no-
scanner on her phone
Well, and your
with my
finger wouldn't-
fingerprint.
Anyway, so while she's looking it up, you're thinking of sweater, right?
Yeah, I'm going to Ravelry.
I have sweater yarn and a sweater pattern that has just been sitting there for ages because I actually ripped out the last sweater I knit. So I'm like, I really want it though. I want to make myself a hoodie because hoodies are my thing. But should I knit it? Because then what if it looks terrible on me? And then I can rip it out. But yeah, so that's why I do hats. Have you found it yet?
Yeah, I just...
Okay.
Okay, so I've been feeling the urge for both colorwork and sweaters. So this is, ooh.
Nope. So
Okay,
what else?
here it
Okay.
is. Fog sweater is apparently a common name for a sweater. But this is it. It's just, pardon the glare, but it's just a really basic kind of turtleneck with loose ribbing on the top and a really loose bottom cuff and sleeves. It's just kind of a loose sweater. You can see some of the texture there. And I think it'd be super cozy for winter.
In what yarn?
I'm thinking maybe Cascade 220 or Cascade Echo, because we have some and I love it.
Is that the weight? Oh, it calls
Yeah.
for Erin. Oh, it was
actually
knit
done
in.
for Cascade Echo originally.
Oh, that would look lovely.
There are a couple of others that I've been playing with, but I think that might be the one I go with. And I also want to do some colorwork hats or mitts. So I have a hat pattern that a friend gave us at Knit Night last week. That's or the week before.
We
the
didn't have
bubble
knit that
hat.
way before. Oh, okay.
Anyway, and I want to do some of Ellie's mitts. I think some of the Scandinavian, like Selbu mittens. She's got a couple of patterns out of her own.
See, the problem is we never knit the same things, so we have a really hard time doing like knit-alongs.
Yeah, because we like very different things too.
So we have to come up with some.
Yeah.
We have a couple ideas.
Yeah, we're just on the tail end of our Knit to Alaska Highway.
Knit to Alaska Highway? It's knit to Alaska
knit
or
to
knit
Alaska
the
or
Alaska.
knit the Alaska Highway.
Yeah. Yeah, it was supposed to end at the end of the year, but
We're really close to a.
I'm behind and I still haven't posted all mine. So
And there are new ones again last
I know,
night.
I know. I'm so bad at Ravelry.
She
bad
is.
at Ravelry. I love that Ravelry has now let you like challenge yourself to how many projects for the year, because
Yes.
I'm all about the challenges.
Yeah.
I do Goodreads. I have my challenge. Oh, I challenged myself to 100 books this year, but I've challenged myself to 12 projects this year. So we'll see.
12 finished projects.
Yeah.
Like to start and finish 12.
To start
not,
and finish
not
12,
to
yes.
finish 12 with
Finished
loads,
ones.
but
Yeah.
I did a challenge for 12 new projects
Yeah.
that I finished this year too. And I've already finished one. I finished the scarf on January 1st. So
Oh, but you didn't start it.
no.
Oh,
But if I
you're
feel like
allowed to.
cheating, I might
You can
count
cheat-
this one.
You can cheat all you want.
But if not, this will be my first one, the cowl.
And you asked me if there was anything that I was looking forward to reading too, and I was gonna say yes, and then I've forgotten. Oh! Sorry, I just got a text. I don't usually get texts, so I don't silence my phone.
It's usually my phone that goes off during podcasts.
I'm gonna read Ghosts by Raina Telgemeier.
Oh.
She's fabulous. She writes graphic novels for kids, but I love kids' books.
Yeah.
And the other one that I was, yeah, this is me. I'm with it. Okay, I can't remember what else.
So, Raina Telgemeier.
Yeah. Oh, and I have this one about Putin, which looks really interesting. But I don't know. He's scary.
But reading about him shouldn't be too scary.
I don't know. His. I'd have to take off the dust jacket because otherwise he'd be staring. Oh, sorry.
Wow, the light's really blowing out.
We're like, wow, we're even whiter than usual.
I'm pale. I am the palest in my family. But
I'm paler than she is.
I'm very pale today.
Yes.
The light is
And it shows off my gray hairs really well. Yeah. You'd think I have a lot of gray hairs for 40, but you should have seen me at 17. So, at 17, I had a boyfriend who'd sit there and pluck my gray hairs.
that's just not nice. Anyway, I think that's it for me. I didn't have anything on the back of my sheet today.
I didn't have sheets really well. I had.
Oh, I do have another stash acquisition that's sort of podcast related. Coming.
Sorta. Yeah, sure.
I ordered a Rocketbook, which is an erasable. It's the
Rocketbook Everlast.
Rocketbook Everlast, and it's an erasable notebook.
It's so cool. I have one already.
Yeah, and it just uses like gel friction pens that you can buy at like Walmart or the stationery stores, and like a paper towel with a drop or two of water just erases
Cool.
it all.
And it feels pretty much like paper. A
Yeah.
little more shiny.
Yeah,
than a
it's
regular
It's
paper.
kind of like slick paper.
Yeah.
But
And it's great.
yeah, I borrowed hers to try it out and thought, I love this.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly writing on loose pieces of paper for the podcast.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be super handy.
I was part of the Kickstarter on it, and it's really cool. I've got to use mine more. It used to be in my purse, and I haven't been carrying it with me lately.
Yeah.
So
I think it'll be super handy for me, especially for like show notes and stuff, so I can write down everything on one sheet of paper. And the nice thing with it is you can even upload, like it scans the photos and it can upload to any, like there are icons right on the bottom. So you just take the picture and circle which one you want it to upload
And
to,
it'll
and
automatically
it can
upload.
automatically upload to whether it's Dropbox or Everlast or whatever. So
not Everlast, Evernote.
Evernote, I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be cool.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that one for the podcast. I think it'll be really handy. So.
And we did do a little Etsy update. She did the Etsy update. I'm terrible at it. With some of her handspun.
Yeah.
And there will be more Fleece Artists going up sometime.
Yeah.
We're just doing little updates as we have time.
As we can. The brick and mortar store.
It's fine. We work a lot.
Yeah. I have the photos taken for the next Fleece Artist update. And it'll be the Fleece Artist Festival socks in the National Parks collection. So if you like the National Parks colorways, we have more of those coming. And the festival sock is an awesome sock yarn base. It's 45% merino, 25% nylon, 20% mohair, and 10% silk, and 10% nylon.
You know, you said 20% nylon.
No, 10% silk was the last one.
Yeah.
Because that adds up to 100, so I can do math. And so silk and nylon and mohair all give it strength, and it's applied yarn, and it gives it such a nice sheen.
Yeah, really nice.
And mohair and silk both take the dyes a little more deeply than straight wool, so the colors are a little more striking, and it's really, really nice. So there'll be some of that up.
And sometime soon there will be some of my chainmail.
You're having a hard time keeping up with that. You're selling a lot at the store.
No, I have not been in a chainmail mood lately.
Yeah, it's okay. You're making pom-poms now.
I made pom-poms. I hate pom-poms.
This one isn't even a hat tribble.
This one actually isn't all that great. I think I really need to remake it because I can actually pull strands out of it, which isn't good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, now we're just babbling.
Shall we go?
Shall we? We will go out for dinner for my birthday.
Yeah.
We'll have steak.
And then see if we have power at home or if we fried anything other than our stove. I unplugged everything once I realized the power was surging, but it
definitely blew a bunch of our light bulbs.
Yeah, and the electronics in the stove, so we can't use the oven at all.
We can use the
stove top seems okay.
As long as it doesn't do it at the store, we don't really care about home.
I didn't think to check the fridge.
No, the power came back on here. It just flickered here, I think.
I'm now paranoid, so I'm going to go check all our store fridges and electronics that I didn't think to check before.
They're fine.
I'm the paranoid one.
She left her purse at a restaurant the other day.
I was horrified.
And
it was there for like 5 minutes.
And she was just panicking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it was fine.
I panic well. I'm an expert panicker.
Yeah. Anyway.
So we'll go have dinner to celebrate her being old.
Yeah.